welcome to Exarchia, everyone. So if you have been planning your trip to Athens and you've been watching some of my neighborhood tours, this is the one for this week. And we're starting off the tour here at the National Archaeological Museum. This is probably the best thing to do in this neighborhood. It is a really great museum. It has lots and lots of artifacts. I have been in there and spent several hours in there. I have a whole video on that, and I will be inserting some clips in there from that. I'm not going to try to go in there today because it's very crowded on the free days, and also filming on a free day is just almost impossible because there would be too many people. But don't worry, we're going to see lots of Exarchia, and I'm going to show you some of the things now that you can see in the Archaeological Museum. A lot of them are from many different of the archaeological sites around Greece, including the mainland, the Peloponnese, and the islands. And the thing that it's probably most known for is having the Antikythera device, which is, if you've seen the latest Indiana Jones movie, you may know what that is. Maybe you knew what it was without seeing that. This is probably the best thing to do in this neighborhood. It is a really great museum. It has lots and lots of artifacts. I have been in there and spent several hours in there. I have a whole video on that, and I will be inserting some clips in there from that. I'm not going to try to go in there today because it's very crowded on the free days, and also filming on a free day is just almost impossible because there would be too many people. But don't worry, we're going to see lots of Exarchia, and I'm going to show you some of the things now that you can see in the Archaeological Museum. A lot of them are from many different of the archaeological sites around Greece, including the mainland, the Peloponnese, and the islands. And the thing that it's probably most known for is having the Antikythera device, which is, if you've seen the latest Indiana Jones movie, you may know what that is. Maybe you knew what it was without seeing that. What they believe to be like one of the first computers found off the island on a shipwreck of Antikythera. Definitely worth seeing, even if it's just to see that alone. A lot of people will say that Exarchia isn't safe, that you shouldn't come here, and it definitely has its moments, but almost all of Athens has its moments where things happen in the neighborhood. It is a frequent area of sort of protests and anarchists kind of causing destruction, but usually if you're just coming over here to visit and see it for the day, to spend the afternoon, I promise nothing's probably going to happen to you. Now, if you hear that there's a strike happening, definitely avoid this neighborhood. But as you can see, it's beautiful, and besides the museum, I think it's a really unique neighborhood to come and visit. Down this road is the main square of Exarchia. I did not film too much down there because they are putting a metro station in the square, and it has become very controversial. And there are lots of police, regular police and riot police, standing around the square. And it's all blocked off with a fence because of them building the metro. So there's not a lot to see anymore, but there is a really great bookstore down there, and there's some great coffee shops around the square. So it's worth going down to see. I'm going to put in some old footage of what it used to look like here. As you can see, there are lots of places to eat around here, so that's my next stop, is to find a place to eat lunch at. Honestly, I picked this restaurant because it looked really cool on the outside, and there were lots of Greek people coming in to eat. I had a warm beetroot salad, and then I also had this amazing fava. They were both excellent. I would love to see this place at night. One of the things that you're going to notice a lot here in Exarchia is all of the graffiti. And yes, I am calling it graffiti, and you've seen my videos before, and you know I think there's a difference between graffiti and street art. So yes, Exarchia is covered in it, but there are definitely some amazing street art pieces here. I'm going to show you a few of them, and they're worth wandering around to find. This is probably one of the most famous ones. It's an old Eno Expo. It doesn't have the blue line, so but it's amazing. It's in front of this parking, not in front of, it's in this parking area, which I guess they're not open on Sundays, because every time I've walked by here before, it's been full of cars, so it's pretty amazing. This one is sadly slowly disappearing because of all of the other graffiti. Every time I come here, it's a little bit more covered. This is a wild drawing and is one of my favorites, partly because he has this very life-size, realistic view of them. Some of them in Naxos have this places where you stand because they're three-dimensional. They're very cool. And I think there's another one around the corner. This is the other wild drawing. It's just around the corner from that one. This one is surviving a little bit better because it's a little bit higher up than that one. And these are some of his older ones. This is 2013. I didn't look to see when the other one was. The ones in Naxos are even older, but they're sort of getting damaged by the sun. But great artist to try to find. He's got lots of them all over Athens. This is kind of a shame. There used to be a really amazing one, and I can't remember the artist's name right now, but it's been covered up by a tag instead. One of the other great things I love about Exarchia is a lot of the older buildings haven't been torn down. Now, a lot of them are falling down. You can see this one's in pretty good shape, but the next one, where the two wild drawings are, the building is completely empty. It's just the shell now. But there's also one here on the corner, and they're all over. And some of them are in much better shape and some of them are not, but like you can still see some of the architectural beauty of these old buildings here in Exarchia. Many of you are probably thinking it's way too rough around the edges. It feels really dangerous. I don't want to go there. But if you want to see a neighborhood that is fighting to maintain its counterculture identity, this is the place. I can't even think of another comparative neighborhood in any country that is similar that I know of. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but part of the reason I didn't film in the square, as I said, is because of the police presence, and that's because they've been protesting the metro. Most neighborhoods would love to have a metro station, but they are actively protesting it, and it's for a variety of reasons, but one of the main ones being that they're afraid it's going to change the culture of the neighborhood. I've seen the plans for the square for the station. It's very different than what is there now. Another thing that sort of makes Exarchia unique is that it sits between Kolonaki and then the other side of Athens, and it's sort of this buffer zone. And if you can barely see it, but up there is Lycabettus Hill, and up this street over there, if you keep on walking, there is another hill. Here we have an old building with some street art on it. Doesn't get more Exarchia than that. Here are two great buildings that I'm talking about. This one's pretty good shape, just has a lot of graffiti, but look at this one. It's like a mansion. It's magnificent. And if the date on the door is correct, it says it was built in 1932. I just love this balcony with all the greenery, but it's stunning. This building here has, I guess, decided to embrace this street art, and they've renovated the building and then obviously hired some people to come in and do art in the entryway. It's pretty cool, and so far it's surviving. Let's see if it lasts. I mean, let's compare it to the rest of the street. I would say that if you're coming to Exarchia to see a specific piece of street art, don't be disappointed if it's been either painted over or graffitied over. As you can see, the whole neighborhood is covered, and some of the things that I thought I was going to show you are just no longer here. And that's just the nature of street art. It just gets covered either because somebody didn't like it or because somebody else, they had something better to show. But you can always come find something new. And every time you come, you can see what else is propped up here. That is going to be it this week from Exarchia. I know this video is a little bit shorter than some of the other neighborhood tours, but while there's lots to visually see, there's not a lot to do other than the big National Archaeological Museum. But I would say come and eat, go see some street art, explore. Be cautious about when you come though. Come during the day. Although I have been down here at night and it's been perfectly fine. And enjoy this little counterculture corner of Athens. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.